Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be looking at using collage images and adding text to our pages. So on this page you can see it's a messy page to begin with. It's one my daughters have been drawing in my journal to keep me company. So I decided that I was going to use some quite opaque paints on it to colour up the background. So I had obviously that dark green on it, and I've gone in with a sort of sagey colour, and then I'm just adding more and more colours and doing some ghosting techniques with my stenciling. One of the reasons I'm doing that is I just find it a really quick way to add stenciling to my page. So if I sat there and sponged it out, it would take me a bit longer than just chucking on a whole heap of paint and then wiping it away. Just because I'm a lazy journaler, really. If I can make a background quickly, that's how I'm going to do it. So a bit messy, a bit all over the place, but I knew I wanted to do a lot of writing this page. I was just in the mood to write. So I've had this image out of a fashion magazine. It's very, very sort of textural and interesting. I loved all the shapes and lines and so on in it. So I knew it would be a good one to play with. So before I went in, I had this mask. This is from Scrap FX, I think. Just lots of words, adds into the background, and just got some gold paint and stenciling over the top. Again, just to add a little bit of extra something to the page. I just wanted some sort of focally bit on my page. I then decided that it didn't really matter because I was going to stick my image over it. I was sort of, you could see, sort of putting off to one side, but then I decided to move it over a little bit. So once I'd done that, I then went back in to add some extra details to my image. Now, I'm not a great one for fussy cutting, and if I can make cutting out the image a lot easier, I will. So when I cut out this image, she did actually have those spiky bits on her headpiece or her hair, and I just cut them off. So I used my pen to draw those back in again, just the black pen, and then I'm going in with my white pen to add in the details. Now usually on collage images I would use a black pen to do this, but because it was sort of a black and white image, I decided to go around with my white pen just to help it stand out, to get sort of this key focal images and features on the collage piece. I didn't want to add too much to this because it was such a striking image, but I knew I wanted to add in a little bit of journaling. So I'm just going in on the left hand side with my paint pen and drawing some wiggly lines, and I'm going to do some journaling down at that side, and then on the other side I'm going to write my focus quote. So quite often when I'm writing on a page, particularly sort of a page like this, I'll have a focal quote, and then I'll kind of put my journaling about why I've chosen that quote or what that quote means to me or why I was thinking about that at the time. So I'm just going in with my paint pen and writing over the page. Now a lot of people want to do that with pencil first to work out the spacing. I prefer using a paint pen because you can see here, even though I wrote that up at the beginning, I could go back with my wet wipe and wipe it away while it was still damp. So I find it's an easier way to correct my mistakes on my page, remembering that the entire part of my background is acrylic paint, so there's no paper left untouched on that page, so to speak. So it's got a permanent background on it. The background was dry, so it had wet acrylic paint sitting on top, so it makes it a lot easier to wipe away. If I just had straight journal page there and no acrylic paint in the background, obviously the paint pen is going to soak into the paper fiber, so I can't wipe it away. So just in case you're wondering, oh, it didn't work with me, it stained my page or it made a complete mess, the reason why it wipes away for me is because I've got that sealed background it's going over. Once I finish that, I then go in with my paint pen again and just widen my letters. And the reason I do this is to make it look like it's just squeezed onto the page. So you saw originally when I wrote it out, there's quite a bit of a gap in between the letters. But now by going in and widening them out, it just makes it look like it's just always been destined for that spot on my page. Even though I did that stenciling in the background with a quote. I don't mind that it's gone over it because it's just that letter upon letter upon letter. It gives a really interesting background to work over. To make my letters really pop out, I'm going in with my white pen now and doing a drop shadow or a highlight on each of my letters. And I find if I do that consistently across all the letters, it really works. So in my case, I'm doing it on the bottom left hand side of all my letters. You can do it on the top right, you can do it any side you want, as long as you do it the same the entire way through. So with all the letters that I do bottom left, because I've just got used to doing that now, and it makes it really easy. I don't need to think about it too much. Obviously I'm just doing black and white because I want that sort of very monotone colour over the top of the green, but you can also do these drop shadows with lots of different colours and it makes it look really cool. So if you've got a colour scheme in particular, you could have hot pink going along the outside, or turquoise, or whatever works for you. On the other side, I'm going in with my white pen just to balance it out again, so again continuing that black and white theme, and just writing in those squiggly lines I drew before. Now when I do that, I fill up the entire space, so my letters are the size of the line, and what happens with that is it is readable, but it kind of just adds patterning in the background. So from a distance, as you're looking at it, it just looks like sort of line work, and then as you get up closer, you go, oh yeah, I can actually read that. So I find it a really good way to put my journaling on a page. Means when I journal like this, I don't mind if it's read again, so it really doesn't bother me, but it kind of just blends into the background. If I have something incredibly personal to journal, I tend to go all out with really scribbly cursive writing, so even I can't go back and read it again. It's just sort of a dump of what's happening in my brain. So I hope you have a go at doing something like this and experimenting with different styles of writing on your page. It's lots and lots of fun doing your own handwriting, and until next time, bye for now.